Hello, and welcome to this edition of Kingdom Echoes. I'm Quentin, your host. I said I wasn't going to say that. Okay. Hi, and welcome to this edition of Kingdom Echoes. I wanted to start the episode off with a quote from Myron Golden. Artificial intelligence, it's your ability. What? Cut. Let's start over. Hi, and welcome to Kingdom Echoes. Faith, focus, fire. That's what drives you as a writer, if you are a writer. That's what drives me. That's what drives me as a writer, I should say. Let's start this episode off with a quote from Myron Golden. Artificial intelligence. Your ability to leverage AI to the fullest is going to be in direct proportion to your ability to describe exactly the outcome you desire and then challenge the outputs AI gives you with more and better articulation. You might say, well, what does articulation have to do with writing? Well, articulation is part of having good English, right? Now, we all have our own style. I definitely have my own style of writing, and I like to speak a certain way in words when I write. So my articulation of certain things is very apparent on paper. The important part, I will say, and this goes back to something Myron Golden also said that I agree with 100%, is that when it comes to AI, you will either go along for the ride or you will get left behind. All right, so this episode is titled Me plus AI equals book 6 in 14 days. Now, I can tell you, I don't have 6 books published. I don't have 5 books published. I only have 1 book published, but I'm playing the long game. In the long game, you have to be ready in advance. At least that's my logic. So I decided to take book 6 and split it into 2 parts. Okay. Book 2, which the beginning of which comes out next year, is also split into 3 volumes. That's something that many people know. So why even touch book 6? Well, book 6 had a lot of stuff in it that I put together forever ago. I'm always writing it in advance, right, with the story's end in mind. So I knew from where I was in book 2, which I have already started some of the art for. I won't really hold it up and show much because you're not ready to see that, but I've already started the art for that book. All right. So book 6, while doing book 2, was in the foremost of my mind because I was like, okay, so that story really needs to be split in half because of how grandiose it really is. So I was like, okay, so how am I going to do that? Right. So I decided to take 2 weeks and go through everything, create new stuff, right? And then take all of the new stuff and make it volume one. And I gave it structure, right? You needed structure. So that's what that 14 days was about, was creation of book 6 from what I've already written, right? Creating new material to uphold what's already there so that it can shine when the volume 2 comes out, because it's so much there, right? And to use AI as part of a collaboration, right? So AI is a collaborative process. It 100% cannot replace me. I write a certain way, I think a certain way, right? And hopefully that comes across when more books come out. You can see that. I can honestly tell you that letting AI write on its own, it ain't pretty. It really is not pretty. You know, I've tried it just to see what it can do. You know, what can it do? It's not pretty. All right. So what I've done is I've taken a lot of the stuff that it created, right? Which is crap, to be honest with you. It's a whole bunch of crap, right? I give it, if I was to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, it'd get a 0.5, right? I couldn't be less happy with what it's done. But that's not the point. The point is that for me to give it the structure that I needed it to have, there needed to be filler, right? So I took all of the crap that it was spitting out and I put it there as filler. So now, even though it's not my work that's sitting there, like if somebody were to read it, they would be completely confused. I read it and I'm just like, what is this? This is a hot mess. But it is just a filler so that I could have structure. Okay. Yes, I'm extremely picky when it comes to what I write, how I write. You know, the last video I talked about the sentences and how I like them to be a certain way and be spaced out, and you know, and I could tell you this AI, and it doesn't matter which one I use. I won't go into which one I use specifically, but I can tell you that Joker ain't worth two hoots when it comes to doing things my way, right? Artificial intelligence is a tool, no more than this color pencil, this pair of scissors, and this ruler. Is a tool. They're all tools. They're meant to be used, you know, for the purpose that you need to use it for, right? It cannot replace you. A lot of people worry that AI is taking over. I could care less about that thought process. When it comes to writing, it ain't. It's no. It's not there yet, and it's missing humanity. It doesn't have humanity. It can mimic, but it doesn't have humanity. But yeah, so AI helps me reorganize my thought process, right? I'll give an example. When I was working on book 2, right, I would take something and I would read what I wrote, and I'd be like, maybe I can say this better. So I would take what I wrote, put it into AI, right? Then they would rewrite or refine what I wrote, right? Now, if you remember, I said that a lot of the stuff that they give you, if they're not guided, is crap. So they gave it gave really good points in the refinement. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I was able to pick and choose, not copy. You don't want to just take what it wrote and just put it in there and say it's your own. At least not, I don't. You may want to, but I don't. I'm very picky, so I was picking and choosing what exactly I wanted to pull from that and put into what I was doing. Right. And in that process, right, I took something that was being rewritten by me, and I made it better than what it was. So AI is definitely that companion piece. You have to excuse me. I was a little ill yesterday, so I've still got the sweats a little bit. That, and I'm addicted to coffee. But that's another story for another day. Why use AI in the beginning? We just went over that. It really was just kind of going back to that other quote. Will you go along for it? Will you go along for the ride, or will you get left behind? I wasn't trying to get left behind, so I was like, let's start maybe utilizing AI, see what it can do. You know, how can it help me be better at what I love doing? All right. Yes. So AI is great at refining, like I spoke about. And yeah, so I covered everything. Yeah, so these cue cards are great because my brain is scrambled. Another reason why AI is good because it helps you stay on track with stuff, right? So faith, focus, fire. I could tell you how those things fit me. So faith, I have a lot of faith in the story. It is one of two that I'm writing right now. It's seven books with multiple volumes in the series, the Team Dragon Force saga that I'm putting together. Right, I have a lot of faith in that. It takes most of my focus. You know, um, at the time of this video, I'm still in a 9 to 5 type job, and I can tell you, when I'm working, it is foremost on my mind more than it probably should be. Fire. I think that goes well with the other two because I do have the fire of a writer and an artist that dwells within me and fuels me so much. Usually, on any day, every day, most every day, I'm either writing, drawing, or filming. That's what I do with all of my time. Very rarely am I out gallivanting or going to a movie or which I love to do. I love movies. I'm a movie person, you know, but you set your priorities before you and you take care of business. This is what I like to do. This is what I want to do. If I could do this for a living right now, which I highly feel is in the process of getting there, that's exactly what I would do. The minute that's possible, the minute that I can step away from a 9 to 5 and do this and only this, it's going to happen because I've got that fire. Excuse me. It's not a hobby. These things are planned out. I treat it like it's my business. Because I love it that much. You should do the same thing for anything that you have that fire for, right? So I think that's going to be about it, guys. This has been Kingdom Echoes. I have been your host, Quentin, and I hope to see you in the next video, which I have no idea what will be about, but hopefully it'll be something that serves you well. Until then, folks, like and subscribe this video, share it, and I look forward to making another one for you guys and reading your comments. You have a great day. Peace out.